Hello, I trust that you will all be on your best behavior for our substitute teacher today. I'm sure I'll be getting a great report from you. The first thing that I'd like you to do, please, is glue in your Mineral ID lab rubric into your notebook. If you don't have it with you, the guest teacher has it, so you can get it from her. You need to take a moment and glue it in with glue. So you can pause this video if you need to. I want you to glue that in. Did you glue it in? All right, now that it's glued in, we're going to start talking about one of my favorite things in science, which would be rocks. Rocks are awesome. If you don't believe me, have you ever had a rock collection at home? Yeah, I thought so. You were showing these awesome sparkly rocks or whatever they look like to your mom or your dad or your dog or yourself or whoever would listen. At one point in time, I know that you like rocks just like I do. I love them. So welcome to the club. We're going to talk about the three types today. Hopefully you've heard of some of them before: sedimentary, metamorphic, and igneous. We're going to talk about sedimentary and metamorphic today. As we're going through this, you are supposed to write information down in your notebook. So if you are needing to pause the video so that you have a chance to write what you need to, then please do so. All right, so if you will please open your notebook to the next blank page, and I'd like you to title it Sedimentary Rocks, just like it is here on the screen. This is going to be a new page. That means that you should be updating your table of contents as well. And yes, I mean you with a pen, because you should be using a pen. You need to update your table of contents. I collected some notebooks over the weekend, and I know who of you are not updating your table of contents. I'll be coming for you. Now's your chance to get it up to date. So, title it Sedimentary Rocks. Think about, have you ever seen rocks like in this picture before, where they have the layers to them? Anytime you see big layers of rocks on the side of the road, that's going to be a sedimentary rock. That's the type of rock that fossils form in because of the layering factor. Okay, how do I go to the next slide? Sorry, some technical difficulties here. Here we go. Okay, the next thing I'd like you to write down is formation. For each of the types of rocks, you need to know how it is that they form. Don't worry about the pictures that you see on the screen. Those will come into play in just a minute. So for a sedimentary rock, it forms when rock and mineral particles get cemented together. So think about like at the bottom of an ocean or the bottom of a river, where you have all of this sand and sediment. Sediment is why sedimentary rocks have their name. Sediments are forming at the bottom, they get cemented together, eventually they can become an actual rock. That's what a sedimentary rock is. If you've ever seen, or if you've ever held like a really hard clump of dirt before that's been really hard to break apart, that's kind of like the beginning stages of a sedimentary rock. In order for it to actually form into rock, they have to get cemented so you can't crumple them up, but the first part is getting them to be really stuck together. The beginning of this school year, you guys made a composite lab, and so you were technically making kind of an artificial sedimentary rock, a man-made rock. We do have lots of man-made rocks here on Earth, actually. So when you added some kind of substance to your cement, to your concrete powder, you made a rock, whether you made a rock with bouncy balls in it, or straw or metal or paper or whatever you use, that was kind of technically a rock. That's what sedimentary rocks are like as well, except they happen naturally. So there are 5 main steps, and in your notebook you should have written down that first sentence, rock and mineral particles get cemented together, and then I'd like you to write these 5 steps as well. You don't need to draw the pictures for them. You might need to write a description or draw a little picture if you can't remember what these mean though. So the first step is weathering. Weathering of rock has absolutely nothing to do with the weather outside. You know, it's not rain or snow or 80 degrees. That's completely different. When we're talking about earth science, weathering is referring to how rocks can break down into small pieces. So whether the rock is dropped or smashed or whether an animal steps on it, rocks at some point in time break down. That's what weathering is. The second step is erosion. Erosion is when those pieces move. Wind, water, snow moves the pieces somewhere else. Then we get to deposition. If it was in water, the deposition means they're depositing out. So that's why in the picture they're kind of falling down to the bottom. Little particles are depositing. Then they get compacted, which means squeezed together. And then the final step, really important to actually turning it into a rock, is that the rocks have to go through cementation, which is when mineral crystals from the water surrounding it kind of act as glue and take all those little particles and get them stuck together. And then when all of those steps happen, we end up with a rock, and we would call it sedimentary because it's made from sediments that have gotten cemented together. We have a couple different types of sedimentary rocks, and yes, you're going to write this down as well. The two main types are, well, the first type is clastic, rhymes with the word plastic, but it's different. So clastic means that it is in fact made from rock and mineral fragments. When you look at a clastic rock, you can see the little pieces of rocks and minerals within them. In a moment, very soon, you're going to get your sedimentary rock kit, and you're going to look at the rocks that are there. I'll try to zoom in on this one. Hopefully it won't be too blurry for you. This is rock number 1, and I don't know if you can tell by looking at it, but it has a bunch of little pieces within it. You can actually see the pieces of sediments within the rock. This is called a clastic rock. You can actually see the fragments that are making it up. Here are a couple other pictures of clastic rocks. This one is called shale. Shale actually has really, really small pieces, like you would have to use a microscope to see the pieces themselves, but you can see the clear layering of the shale because of the way that it has formed. This rock is sandstone. You will have sandstone in your kit as well. Here's some sandstone. I don't know if you can tell on here that it kind of does have lines like this picture, but you'll be able to see it when you have the kit in front of you. This is conglomerate. That's what this rock number 1 that I was showing you is called. And then this one is called breccia. The difference between conglomerate and breccia are that conglomerate has rounded pieces and breccia has sharp pieces. So now, here's what I'd like you to please do. You're sitting in groups still. You need to make sure everyone in your group is to this point or almost to this point. I would like one of you to go get one sedimentary rock box from the guest teacher, bring it to your table, and I want you to look at it. There's a key in there. The key is kind of nice because it tells you clastic rocks. And you'll see on this key that rocks 1 through 7 are all clastic. I would like you to please take out rocks 1 through 7. So at this time, if you haven't done so yet, go get your box, take out rocks 1 through 7, make them a pile. Now that you have your pile, I would like you to look at them. If you have them actually in order, 1 through 7, you can see they are actually arranged by size of pieces. Rock number 1 has the biggest pieces. 2, 3, and 4 are all sandstone. So if you look really closely, they're made from little fragments about the size of sand, because that's the particles that made up sandstone. 5, Arcos, is really similar to sandstone in the size of the pieces. It's just made from different materials. And then your 6 and 7 are both a type of shale and then oil shale, which, as I had said earlier, that's like the first picture on this screen. Shale is made from pieces that are really, really small. You'd have to use a microscope to actually see the pieces. So that's how they're arranged. What I would like you to please do in your notebook is pick one of them. I'd like you to pick one that's numbered 1 through 5, where you can actually see the pieces that make it up. And I want you to draw a picture of that in your notebook at this time. And go ahead and write down the name of that rock too. So if you draw rock 1, draw it and label it conglomerate. So please, everyone in your group, take a moment to draw one of the rocks in the kit. All right, hopefully you have now drawn a clastic rock. I'd like you to tell your group members which rock you drew. Tell them that it's clastic. Now, any type of rock that is not considered clastic, what do we call that? Great question. We call it a non-clastic rock. So yes, you're going to write this down as well. Non-clastic means it's not made from rock and mineral fragments. Mrs. Herson, if this rock is not made from rock and mineral fragments, then what is it made from? That was a great question that I'm sure you were just thinking. It can be made of one of two ways. As you can see, if you have your rock key still, you'll see you'll have some rocks that are called chemical rocks, and you have one rock in this kit that's called organic. Chemical rocks would be rocks that had the mineral fragments from them actually come out of water. They were deposited from water that had the minerals within them. And organic rock would be rock that was ultimately made from living organisms. So in your box, you'll see that your organic rock is actually a type of coal. And coal is a fossil fuel, and it's made from dead plants from a really long time ago in the Carboniferous time period that died and were buried and compressed into coal. But the rest of these in your kit, your numbers 8 through 14, all came out of water. So non-clastic is just the general category that we will call them. And you can write this next sentence as well. They were either deposited out of water or they were made from plant and animal remains. You can see I have a picture of coal here. You have a picture of coal in your kit as well. This second one is called coquina. This is made, you can see in the detail, it's kind of made from like animal shells that were put together. So that would be an example of animal remains. This next picture is halite, which is a mineral, the mineral of salt. That itself is not considered a rock, but it is one of the main minerals in your rock your rock number 14, which is rock salt. Don't lick it. It doesn't actually taste like salt, but it does have a lot of the minerals for halite in it, which would be salt, but it has other things as well. So that is one that definitely comes out of water. You can kind of see the crystal shape just in what you're holding. And then this one here is limestone. If you've heard of limestone before, that's a good thing. You should have, because you live in Indiana. Indiana is very well known for our limestone. We have a ton of it here, very big limestone reserves. So you have multiple limestone samples in your kit. Numbers 8, 9, and 10 are all types of limestone. What I would like you to do, please, with your group is choose one of your non-clastic rocks, so either 8 through 15. Choose one of them, draw it on this part of your page, and label the name of the rock as well. After you have done that, I'd like you to please close back up your rock kit, putting them all in order, in number order, please, and then bring the box back to the substitute. You'll watch the second video, which is about metamorphic rocks, and you will get the second rock kit when I instruct you to. You need to make sure that you don't mix up the rocks, so make sure to keep these separate. Draw your non-clastic rock, and then I will see you for the second video in a little bit.